In this lesson, I will be making a logo for this site called Soul Bottoms, and this is a brand and niche dropshipping store that's all focused on boho related products. So you can see this is type of the hippie kind of bohemian trend that seems to be pretty in with girls right now, but my main focus is going to be on these harem pants. I think that this is my highest conviction product collection on this site. So at this point, you've already learned how to source products, how to name them, how to organize them. So we're not going to be talking about that. This is the first step to designing this district theme website for Soul Bottoms. And the first step is always going to be creating that logo. And then we're going to be creating banners and also category photos. So for this one, we're going to have to start off with our favorite website of getting logos, which is going to be the stock photos that we're going to be using. So let's go over to Shutterstock. Awesome. So here we are, and I don't really know what a bohemian logo would look like, and I'm just going to be very intuitive and just look up bohemian logo, and let's scroll around until we find something that we like. But there are just so many options, right? Literally thousands and thousands of options. You can see there's 48 pages of these logos on Shutterstock. So I can just go over here, and there we are, right? Even more logos that we can choose from for the sake of simplicity, because you can take your time to find the one that really speaks to you. I'm just going to go and pick one on the home page, the first page, right? So we're going to use this one over here. I think looks awesome, and I've kind of already visualized what a Soul Bottoms logo would look like. So I'm going to go ahead and just download this image and then confirm the download, and of course we're going to be opening this thing up into Photoshop, and here we are. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is just resize the canvas, right? Right now it's at 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. It's absolutely way too big, and District Theme really likes rectangles. So let's bring this thing down. I'm going to make it 1,000 by 500 pixels. Perfect. And then we're going to resize this image so it fits onto the new canvas. And if we have to zoom in to make it easier, that's going to be a lot better. Perfect. Awesome. And now we're going to put this logo exactly where we want it to be, and keep in mind I'm visualizing text at this point. So I'm going to give this thing a white background so it's not on that transparent background anymore. And in case you didn't catch that step, I used the rectangular tool and then also made the fill up above white, okay? And that's how you basically give anything a background that has transparency. And here we are. This is something that we can work with for the next step of the logo creation process. We're going to be adding text to this logo that represents our brand, which is going to be called Soul Bottoms, right? And I just came up with that name after a few minutes of thinking. So I've gone ahead and Googled Bohemian font, and there's so many free fonts on here. And you can see there are literally pages and pages of different sites that could give you a bunch of different types of free fonts. So go ahead and knock yourself out and pick one that you think will work very well. But I'm going to go in here, and I found this one called the Bohemian, right? And I've just downloaded it, and this is a free font. And once I open the file, Photoshop will automatically install it in here. So using that horizontal text tool, I'm going to find the Bohemian. Yep, and it's called the Bohemian Free. So this is a free font that I'm allowed to use, and I'm going to use that horizontal text tool to type out Soul Bottoms. And you know, there's never really a reason why you should ever feel the need to pay for a font. There's just so many free options out there. And let's just type in our brand names, Soul Bottoms. Perfect. And now I'm just going to adjust this text until I think it looks good. So I really like this variation, but this is something that you can play with as many times as possible. Another good variation that can be used is kind of the logo and the text in the same line, but I'm just going to make it top down for District Theme because I think that's what's going to look best. So let's make this thing bigger. Perfect. Okay, awesome. And one more thing that we're going to add, so it's not just a image and text, is a little trick that's going to make this thing have even more trust and legitimacy with consumers, which is also a perfectly legal trick. So we're going to go ahead and pick another font, Myriad Pro, right? And make sure you click onto the canvas first so it's a different text that we're editing, and we're going to add in a little trademark logo. And this is something that you're allowed to do. You can't put a circle and an R inside because that means you've actually registered for your IP protection, but you can put TM right off the bat even if you haven't done anything, because if you've made this logo, right, and we just did so on Photoshop, this is your intellectual property and it is protected. It's not something that someone can steal. So I'm just going to adjust this to make this look as good as it possibly can be and crop out these sides so it's very, very tight around the actual creative attributes that we're going to be using on district theme, right? And this is what you want to do. You want to make it as tight as possible without cropping out any of the essentials. And now all we have to do is go into the site and plug it in. So I'm going to go ahead and save this logo.